Alrighty, buenos dias, welcome aboard. We're having some fun today, because 10 years ago, one Train to Busan dropped on the universe. What is Train to Busan? That sounds very Korean, you might say. And hey, you're pretty good, because Busan is a Korean country. This is a Korean horror zombie film, right? I had heard about this film years ago. It hit, people were talking about it. It was international, and then Parasite came out by Woo, John, the Woo guy, and yeah, it just kind of built up to this. But the idea of zombies, what they do to humans, the sort of situation it brings humanity into, is nothing new per se. But this is why we like cultures. Different ideas. In this Korean interpretation of Les Zombies, we get an outbreak centered around the story of a group of humans. I know, big ideas, I get it. But we're stuck with a sentiment. TLDR, main character, male, has a daughter, estranged daughter, who is visiting him during his week because him and ex-wife, are now divorced. So, when said child's birthday is tomorrow, and all she really wants for her birthday present is to go see her mommy, then yeah, we got ourselves a movie. Now, what could have been a simple character bonding film about a estranged daughter and a salary man, what is it called? Insurance guy. That's his job. Very important because we talk about it later on. While we could have had this interesting story where this father opens up to his daughter and they like maybe have this interesting interaction where it proves that realistically nothing can replace the presence of a father figure. We'll get into that as well. But the fact that they decided to layer this with the horrors of said zombie genre film brings this up to a new level. Again, we heard about this movie. We heard about The Walking Dead. And from there we kind of hit this point where like we didn't really want to do that anymore. It's like superhero fatigue, but it happened with zombies first. I was around during those times. And so it's interesting to see that even then they have their own little direction with when it comes to what these monstrosities can do, how they operate, and little hidden details of what conditions can we satisfy to just barely get by. And that's where the fun begins. Because like one of the great classics, Snakes on a Plane. When you're stuck on a moving vehicle, you really don't have time to change locations, if you will. Yes, it is a train going to Busan, and it is linked, meaning that there are different cars lined up in this trail of trains, and our fun little adventure gets more difficult when we start actually going through the train and we start seeing other characters. Again, we could have made a film about a father and a daughter bonding situation. But what really brings this all around is that we're not just stuck with the people that we love, the people that we're required to protect. It's not a requirement, but the state says otherwise. And it's a feeling. And we see what types of people are on that train. We see where they come from, their backgrounds per se, and we see how they all react to the situation. That, in all its grandiose hesitation, disaster films is the crutch of humanity. When shit hits the fan, when something outlandish just happens, what do you call a bad miracle? Well, society loses all rules. And we start to realize that the only thing really holding up these laws, these rules, this peace of mind is the idea that we all decided to play pretend. To all play along that it's fine, things are great. Or the fact that we're so caught up in our rat race that we don't have time to process exactly what we're feeling, why we're feeling, how we got to this place. And that's very apparent with our main character. Coming back around. Our main character is a insurance finance bro thing or whatever. But what really called to me, or what stood out in my mind, is that whenever he mentions that job, everybody or the people in that train has this negative reaction and says the line, "Oh, so you're just a leech to our economy." Again, that's a simple throwaway line. It's kind of funny if it weren't so true. But when you repeat it multiple times, that's when you know your boy's trying to tell you something serious. So what do we have? We have a estranged father with an estranged daughter who has focused so much on the rat race, his daily work, the Korean bustle. I don't know much about Korean culture, so I won't say much about their workspace. I know Japan's businessman, that's about it. Accounting. And we see him go through the struggle of not understanding, why can't I get to you? Why can't I understand you? Or why are we so walled off against each other? Until we get to a point where said child tells him straight up in a series of emotion, in an event of emotional distress where help is needed, but coming from a financial financial stonks mofo, his response to her being, "Hey, you don't have to help everybody in this situation." And to which she responds, "This is why mother left you. Because you don't love anybody besides yourself." Now we're cooking. So yeah, we have a fun zombie flick. We have a very emotional story of a father and a daughter trying to provide his daughter something that money could not. He has the money, but his daughter is still crying. So he makes a choice. He gets on that train, and we meet one more couple. Probably everyone's favorite. I don't really know his name per se, but it's the big guy. I forget his name. I'm pretty sure he's the guy that pops up in this guy right here, that pops up in Parasite and the new Weapons movie. I feel like that's him. I'm not gonna say that's him because that feels very, very rude. But again, this is 10 years ago. This guy is built like a brick, and he has a wife. But it's not just a wife. He has a pregnant wife. If you thought life was stressful, wait till you have to live with a baby on one hand and the groceries / the laundries with the other. But now we have father and daughter, a soon-to-be father and a soon-to-be mother. And finally, the most important piece, the two eldest sisters. Now, I won't say why they're important, but the reason these two were inseparable to a point is what this whole movie is about. You see, I'm gonna call him Takeshi B. He's a Japanese actor. Takeshi B is. I don't know this gentleman's name. I'm an asshole like that, but Takeshi B is a pretty cool guy. So I'm gonna say Mr. Beat over here is solely focused on being the protector. It is his sole mission and duty from the moment shit hits the fan to take care of his wife and his baby, his unborn baby. Nobody told him to do that. Nobody gave him a set of orders to be like, oh, nobody called him, nobody sent him text messages. But in that moment, just like the father still doing his best to understand his daughter's situation, the fathers put themselves in the line of danger. But why? It's a, what's the word? It's an ironic question. It's a, it's a redundant? Yeah, question, but I do believe it's important to ask it. Specifically with where we are now. Train to Busan, for its spectacularly gross zombie horror, has a very powerful message, right? Message. But more than that, you can tell it's serious because the emotions coming from those scenes, from those actors, from that script, the moments leading up to the eventual actions that these people are gonna have to take are all centered on love. And there was a cute little question and answering Q&A session after this film, because it was, again, the 10-year anniversary, so they added a little bit of extra to detail thoughts, questions, and all that. And the director himself mentioned it. He said, I really wanted to put a businessman, the idea of capitalism, the personification of capitalism, and throw them in this situation. Now that's talent. That's powerful shit right there. This man saw his environment. He saw his government, and he saw his what's it called? GDP? Economy. He saw the economy, but he also saw what was happening to the people. Now this reminds me of another story, if you'll let me go on a quick tangent. The Catcher in the Rye. The Catcher in the Rye was written in 1950-ish, after the war, when America won, we're the best. But if you read that book, the perspective is that of a teenager called Holden, who has genuine problems with his timeline society and how he feels about it and where he thinks it's going. That book was written in 1950, but it's a hell of a lot more relevant today than ever before. And I could say the same about Train to Busan. Because yes, we have our capitalistic stand-in. Yes, we have our family guy, not Peter Griffin, an actual homeboy that would beat the fuck out of you if you got near his wife. And you have the two elder ladies who are at the very edge of their lifeline, their timeline. And when these inseparable siblings, but like, lovers, because they love each other as a family, when they finally do get separated, one of them makes the choice that without love, it cannot be seen. And so, this film really hit. It's a good zombie flick. It even does some interesting things with the zombies' senses to switch things up a bit. Because again, Korean, America. Different ideas, same fun. But the minute that guy walked into the frame and he was all businesslike, but his daughter was not hyped about that. That's when I started picking up that it's not just a zombie flick. It's a mirror. It's a reflection of who we are, who we've been becoming in this booming economy. Check the fucking interest rates right now. Deadass, America. We're doing so good right now. Just today. But none of that matters. Because when shit hits the fan, when institutions are down, when the government cannot protect you, does not have an interest in protecting you. In fact, they'd rather eliminate any possibility of a uncontrollable factor. What will you have if you didn't invest in love? I don't know everything. I only know what I want to know. But I know that as humans, we cannot live alone. Yes, we enjoy our time alone. Shit, I'm the biggest representative of someone who needs 30-minute intervals to recharge their battery. But I don't think we could ever truly be alone and be healthy. Nuts. That doesn't mean you should go out there and like look for just any damn person to like, hook up with or whatever. But the reality is that things are hard. Times are rough, right? Not for everybody, sure. If you're a fucking tech industry bro, you got your comeuppance. But when that $4 trillion deficit finally breaks the bank and the markets implode and the United States dollar no longer holds its worth. I've been to Mexico. I've seen the peso go up and down. See, we had it. We had everything. Did we do the nicest thing in the universe to get where we were at as Americans in the 1950s? No. In fact, we are probably the shittiest people by a long shot because of the things that we've created. As ambitious Americans, the inspirations that we have given to our planet Earth have not all been positive. And unfortunately, capitalism is one hell of a drug. So hey, if you ever felt like going down to Koreatown gets down, maybe don't book your flight in a train to Busan. With the train to Busan. But hey, that's pretty much all we have going today. I'm gonna go watch some movies. They finally fucking put that film, Sex, Death, and Romance at Camp Miasma in theaters, so I'm gonna go watch that today. And I believe there's a fun little artsy-fartsy film that's cyberpunky and dystopian in the future. So we're not done with the negativity yet, fam. But we are excited to go have fun and enjoy ourselves. So, if you enjoyed yourself, if you had fun, then please hit that like, subscrizzles. It does stuff. And with that being said, I will wish you a buen stardust, a good night, and an awesome Ohio gozaimasu. Well, thanks for watching. It's been your boy, Assassin Alchemist, EXP626, signing off, wishing you another beautiful tomorrow. But until then, try not to get bitten by any zombies. Please, we'll miss you. So nice to carry me now. That band's called Scooby